Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sing or Cimnanya, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So this is really a very important post, and I want you all to know where it's going on and the rest of it. And this is about W0man and W0man. I want you all to know that both of them are actually coming out for the same position in New York, right? And W0man is there are two Democrats actually in they are running for House of Representative in New York, right? And W0man is actually, first term he was actually supported by Jess Street Park, a political body, and also this time around he is running and nobody's funding him. But APAC already has offered to sponsor him, which he refused. And now they are sponsoring the other person, and you all know what that means when APAC supports you and the rest of it. And then, this video is in section and it's talking about there is need for Netanyahu to be arrested over what like everything that happened right in front of his eyes since last year to this very moment. And I am asking, why is it that they waited for how many months for them to know that what has been going on so far is against humanity, and it is now that they remember that there is need for him to be arrested and all that. This is something they would have done a long time ago. Let's get into this.
New York, District 21. Come down to the front. I want to show you something. Your representative, your House representative, Exp0sed, she was invited to speak before the politicians over in Israel. Here's part of what she had to say.
I have been clear at home, and I will be clear here. There is no excuse for an American president to block aid to Israel, aid that was duly passed by the Congress. There is no excuse to ease sanctions on Iran, paying a $6 billion ransom to the world's leading state sponsor of terror, or to dither and hide while our friends fight for their lives. No excuse, full stop. And it's why for years I have been a leading proponent and partner to President Trump in his historic support for Israeli independence and security, including moving the U.S. Embassy to its rightful place in Jerusalem. The negotiation of the historic...
She is so in support of Donald Trump that she went over, gave a speech in front of foreign politicians to demean and degrade the current president of the United States in support of Donald Trump and Israel. I've said it before. Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump are lockstep and barrel. They've got plans for Gaza. Soon as they wipe out the entire population, they've got big plans for the land over in Gaza. Yeah, so if you're in District 21, Exp0sed is letting you know that she stands in support of Donald Trump and in support of Israel. So while you all are talking shit about Democrats, this is what Republicans are doing and saying. And then Exp0sed went on to Fox News, and she got served on Fox News.
Leadership. I want to talk to you about the Veep stakes. Your name is continually thrown out as being on the short list potentially, that this trip may be part of an audition. The New York Times did a lengthy piece where they talk about your transformation, they say, from somebody who was not supportive of President Trump to somebody who is full-throatedly supportive of him. They say you called him a whack job at one point. They add this. In August 2015, she told a New York radio station that he was insulting to women and that his candidacy would hurt the party's efforts to attract female voters. According to her former friends, they continue, she thought Mr. Trump was too awful and ridiculous to be taken seriously. Her revisionism still shocks those who have known her the longest and who remember the disdain she expressed for Mr. Trump back then. So the question is when, more importantly, why did you change your mind about President Trump?
Well, Shannon, it's a disgrace that you would quote the New York Times with nameless, faceless,
but they're
false
quoting your
sources.
friends, so I'm giving you a chance to respond to
Shannon,
that.
Shannon, they're not quoting my friends. Those names are not included because they are false smears. I was attacked.
To be fair, there are a number of names of people. Just to be fair, there are a number of names of people who are quoted in the article.
Shannon, let me
People can read it for themselves.
This is a false smear, and let me tell you a fact, Shannon. In 2016, I was attacked as the only elected Republican from the Northeast who voted for President Trump. Democrats spent hundreds of thousands of dollars attacking me for that fact. So to say that I didn't support him is just false. I have been proud to be one of the strongest supporters, going back to when he ran for 2016, which was when it was my first re-election to the House. I have strongly supported him. He is going to be the next president of the United States. The American people know that. My constituents know that. And I'm proud to be one of his strongest allies in Congress. I have always put my district first, New York 21 first, and America first. And this is an opportunity for us to stop the failures of Joe Biden and elect a president who led to a booming economy, a strong national security. But my record speaks for itself, Shannon.
But let me ask you.
My record stands for itself.
Let me ask you, though, because they quote you on a radio station calling him insulting to women. Is that a misquote? Did you not say that?
I said the statement that the Democrats leaked out in 2016, that was insulting. However, Shannon, I stood by and supported him, and I strongly support him. And
I remember reading about her calling Donald Trump a whack job and that women wouldn't support him way back then. I told y'all, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. She said it. And it's just, it just amazes me how they get called out on their hypocrisy and their BS, and then they try to flip it on the Democrats. When that Fox News host said something about her saying negative things about Donald Trump on a radio station, she said the Democrats leaked that. Baby, if you said it on the radio station, everybody heard it. They will do anything and everything to flip their shortcomings onto Democrats. Yeah, she's up for re-election in November, District 21 of New York. Yeah. Vote wisely.
I can also confirm today that I have reasonable grounds to believe, on the basis of evidence collected and examined by my office, that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Minister of Defense Yoav Gallant bear criminal responsibility for the following international crimes committed on the territory of the State of Palestine from at least the 8th of October 2023. The crimes include starvation of civilians as a method of warfare, willfully causing great suffering, serious injury to body or health or cruel treatment, willful killing or murder, and intentionally directing attacks against a civilian population, as well as crimes against humanity of extermination and or murder, persecution, and allegations of crimes of committing other inhumane acts. It's alleged that these crimes were committed in the context of the ongoing armed conflict and as part of a widespread and systematic attack against the civilian population of Gaza, pursuant to a state policy. Unfortunately, these crimes continue to this day. My office submits that these individuals, through a common plan, have systematically deprived the civilian population of Gaza of objects indispensable to human survival. We have reached that conclusion based upon interviews with survivors, many eyewitnesses, experts, from satellite imagery, statements from Israeli officials, including the 2 individuals subject to the present application.
You can go over to the International Criminal Court's website to view the entire statement, but As of the release of that statement, Kareem Khan, who is a prosecutor for the International Criminal Court, has submitted applications for the arrest of Benjamin Netanyahu and for the leaders of Hamas. I'm here for it. Lock all their asses up.
AIPAC just made a big move to oust another pro-Palestinian politician from the US government, and I'm going to tell you all about it. First, you need to know who these two people are. This is George Latimer, and this is W0man. They're two Democrats from New York running for the House of Representatives against each other. This would be W0man's second term as a representative of the United States. During his first term, he was funded by J Street, another pro-Israel lobbying organization. But since October 7th, W0man has shown that he is pro-Palestinian, and he will say what needs to be said all the way back in November. This is a photo of him at a protest calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. He gets emotional. He labels the oppression as a genocide correctly. But because of this, the pro-Israel lobby has turned their attention to him to try to oust him and elect a pro-Israel representative in his place. Now here's where things get interesting. The first thing that happened was J Street announced that they were no longer endorsing W0man. Then AIPAC was looking to recruit George Latimer, and before he announced his campaign, he went on a 3-day mission to Israel where he met Isaac Herzog, the president of Israel, and as soon as he came back, George Latimer announced he was running against W0man. AIPAC immediately endorsed him and then gave him $600,000 initially, which made up 42% of the total funding for his campaign at that point in time. And then this week, AIPAC's super PAC, the United Democracy Project, which you can think of as an extension of AIPAC because that's what it is, spent $1.9 million in attack ads against W0man. Now AIPAC makes up over 75% of George Latimer's total current funding. Now George Latimer is backed by 10 times the amount of money that W0man is. This is what the pro-Israel lobby does to manipulate the US government and influence our elections. When they see a politician who's pro-Palestinian, who would advocate for Palestinian rights, who would call out and condemn the crimes that Israel has committed, they swoop in and spend an exorbitant amount of money to oust those politicians. Look around and ask yourself why so many US politicians are enabling and supporting Israel's crimes against the Palestinians. And this is the answer. This is the answer. The pro-Israel lobby funds a majority of them. They do what they did here. They swoop in and spend an insane amount of money. And it works. 98% of AIPAC-backed candidates have won their races. Their job is to guarantee that our tax dollars continue being shipped off to Israel to kill Palestinians. They want to guarantee that the United States will back Israel no matter what and allow Israel to do whatever they want without consequence. They do this to make sure that the Zionist influence maintains its grip over the US government. This is why it's so critical to end US support for Israel. No more bombs, no more billions of dollars, no more support for the genocide, for the oppression, no more covering it up in the news. They need to face their consequences. Netanyahu and his gang of Zionists, all of them must answer for what they have done. I hope you can see what I just laid out for all of you, and I want you to make a promise to yourself not to vote for any politician who's taken pro-Israel money, who's funded by AIPAC. You can find data on this through Open Secrets, media, and the FEC. If you need help, just reach out to me. I can send you instructions on how to check if your candidate is backed by blood money. Because how can you trust somebody who's put their morals up for sale at the cost of Palestinian lives? Make sure you go follow me on Instagram so you can hear my messages in the future. And please copy the link on this video a bunch of times. It helps a lot more people see it. Thank you, and free Palestine.
So this is all I got from this, and I am so in support of it because what they did is against humanity, starvation and the rest of it. And the fact that they did I am asking, why did it even take them long to make this decision? Because this is something we're waiting for them to make this decision from the second month that they saw what has been going on or what was happening in Israel, Palestine, and all that. They didn't do anything. I am not saying that what they did is not correct, but why did they have to wait for this long to make a decision on some certain things? Because they saw innocent kids. They saw so many horrifying things happening to people, and they did not, like, they were not in a hurry, they were not in a haste, to tackle the problem, because if they had started from the onset, immediately all that started, and they said that what is going on, it's like, it's against humanity and all that, they should have straight up immediately sanctioned all of them. And Netanyahu, that man, really needs to be locked up, because he does not belong somewhere. Yeah, we shouldn't be walking around freely, And then let's talk about the New York governor, who actually said that why is United States holding that? So United States do not have any right, or the Congress do not have any right. Like, I don't understand what she is saying, to block, right, the money that was supposed. Like, how do people really talk? Really, New York districts, they really need to do something, because, like, how is your representative saying all this on air, right? So with everything going on, she's not seeing. Is she deaf or blind that US do not have any excuse? I mean, like, the president does not have any excuse to block the fund for Israel if it were duly passed by the Congress. So what she is saying is that US should, like, straight up send all that money to them. What am I even saying? She already knew how they do, because it looks like they have modus operandi in how they operate and all that, because eventually he still released $1 billion, right? Yeah, it was released. I reported it on that, I think 2 days ago. $1 billion, $1 billion US dollar has been released to be sent straight up to them. So she also had a point. I am sorry, but I just remember that she also had a point. If it were due, because it's been duly passed by the Congress, so it should be passed, so they know how they operate. Because I am asking, I am about to start defending Biden right now by saying, why would she do that? Why would she say that? Why would she start blaming Biden for not releasing money for Israel? But the money has already been released. So what do I have to say? See you all in my next video. Bye for now.